Hey everybody, and thanks for tuning in to this new episode of Hang with Drummer Boy Jones. I got my little buddy Sam here. Sam, you hear him? He still don't like he's got allergies or something, but Sam's 18 years old, so everybody hears about Sam, and Sam's my buddy, ain't you? We've been through a lot together, me and Sam, over these 18 years. See, bless his heart. But he's still kicking. He's been doing that for some time. But he's still my little buddy. So, you okay? Sam. Yeah, I'll let you down. So, I wanted to show Sam. Everybody's been asking about Sam. So, thank you for tuning in tonight. I've got a very good episode. Me and a good friend of mine that I've known for 30 years, maybe somewhere in that vicinity, Mr. Erik Hernandez. He's got a great story to tell, and we sat, we talked, and we had a great time. So thanks for hanging out and joining the show, and we're gonna get in with my hanging out with Erik Hernandez right after this. Hey everybody, and thanks for joining in tonight. I've got another special guest that I'm excited to talk to, Mr. Erik Hernandez. Me and Erik's been buddies for
A long time.
a lot of years,
Trying to,
in the
about
80s,
88,
88,
yeah.
something like that. So you do the math. I wasn't good in math, so. But Erik's got an awesome past of stories that's awesome. He's a photographer. He is a writer for our local newspaper. He's a musician. He's a record collector. He loves everything in music. So he's got a lot of stories to tell. So thank you for coming up and hanging out with us tonight. And I'll do what I always do. And Mr. Hernandez, Erik, tell us about, just tell us what you want us to know, my brother.
Man, whatever you want to know. Yeah, I think we met in '88, and I was trying to figure out how we met. I don't have any idea.
I don't know.
I know. You remember Angie Underwood?
Yeah, yeah.
So me and her kind of dated the summer before I started school up here.
Okay,
I don't know how that came about.
okay.
So we'd hang out and watch MTV and stuff. And I remember seeing Scott. I think Scott Carver lived across from her at that time, over
Yeah,
by the old football field.
yeah, right. She
So-
lived in apartments over there, right?
She lived in a little house.
Oh, and okay, but yeah,
And
gotcha.
so I'd see Scott and Fryman
Yeah.
walking. And I was trying to remember, and I remember the thing I remember about them. You remember those leopard boots they'd wear?
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought, man, that's out of place here in Lafayette. But I thought it was cool, And so I guess that little interaction with them led to us somehow meeting during school.
During
that
school
fall.
and stuff. Yeah,
But yeah, it's been a long time.
yeah. Long time. And so I know if I don't know how far back we want to go, but yeah, we used to run around. I remember Scott Gann.
Yeah.
Remember Scott?
Scott,
Yeah, Scott was the man. He was fantastic. I miss Scott. But yeah, I mean, but mainly we hung out or we knew each other just for, I guess, our love of music.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 80s, Steven posted something about that, and I replied to him. I was like, well, I guess he was talking about Poison or whatever. And it was like, I guess I'm a poser.
Yeah.
But I grew up in the, the mid 80s, so I was a hairband guy. But now, Erik and I know Steven, some other guys was into heavier stuff that introduced me to that stuff. And back in the day, I was like, wasn't a hair band. I think I've said this before. If it wasn't a hair band, I didn't want to listen to it,
totally.
But I've matured a lot since then, so I love the heavier stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess this would have been in, like I said, what, 88, somewhere around.
Yeah, 88 was my first year here. And I was into those bands too first. Actually, before that, it was Duran Duran,
Yeah.
Pet Shop Boys. Nobody, really, people probably don't even know that about me, but Depeche Mode.
Actually, I did not.
Yeah, that was my love. And then I heard Poison the summer that Talk Dirty to come out.
Yeah,
Come out,
yeah.
And I was just like, man, that's cool.
That's pretty.
So Poison was my first real hair band that I liked.
Yeah,
And then I met Scott Ellis.
yeah, right.
And Scott turned me on to, he gave me 2 tapes. He's like, here, go check these out. And it was Wasp Live in the Raw and Dokken Back for the Attack.
Really.
And so that broadened my likes for metal. And then took it back. He gave me King Diamond, Candlemass. That was real heavy.
Yeah.
Metallica, the 598 EP.
Yeah, yeah.
That was my first Metallica.
Okay.
And I was hooked on them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, heavy metal became my love. Judas Priest, just everything. I just started. Scott had a room. I don't know if you ever went over there,
I did not.
but it had a shelf all the way around, and cassettes were standing tall
Just-
all the way around. I mean, he had everything.
Yeah.
So I would just borrow 2 or 3 at a time and
Yeah,
check them out.
and check.
But yeah, that's.
I knew of Scott. I knew Scott, or knew of Scott, and I knew Scott, but he was a little older than me, so I you know,
Same here, yeah.
You know, we never did hang out. I know y'all was super close, and
I met him through Alan Thornton. You remember him?
I do.
So Alan and me laid out of school and went and shot pool, and he had Barry Fraser and Scott come pick him up.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Come with us." So we run a Jungle Juice and some kind of whiskey, man.
Yeah,
They got me drunk for the first time. Sorry, Mom. And I showed up that night with a box of comic books and didn't know where I was. Mom was like, "Oh my God." Yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah, Scott was. I remember Scott had, you know, I guess back in the '80s. What do you call those now? Mullets. He had long hair in the back, and
Yeah, he had,
And-
if I was going to describe his hair, you remember Adam Curry?
yes,
When his hair was on?
Yeah.
That was Scott's hair
that
at
was
one
Scott's
time.
hair. Yeah,
Yeah, at one time.
yeah, yeah. That's
He was a good dude, man.
He was, yeah. I know he's very well spoken of with you and other people that I know hung out with Scott, and you know, unfortunate, but
Yeah.
you know, and just but yeah, he's been gone a long time, hasn't he?
91.
91.
Say 91 or 92. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a long. I was 18, 19.
Yeah,
Alan Cooks actually. He came by. I was
Really?
living with my mom. He came by and said that he passed. He goes, "I guess we're best friends now." I remember him saying that.
really.
And I thought, well, you know, we can hang on. Not that I was being like that. I'm
Yeah,
just saying, you know,
yeah.
I didn't really want another best friend at that time.
Right.
Because
Because he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But we eventually did, and then, you know, what was that? Tommy and who was it? The Terror Twins. Somebody started calling us that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Def Leppard. I don't know. But
Yeah, Tommy and Nikki, or was it Joe Perry and Steven Tyler?
Probably.
Maybe
yeah.
that's the Toxic Twin. I
It-
can't
it,
remember
It became crazy. So it was me and him and Gerald's, and we just
Yeah.
everybody had their tribe, and I guess that was ours for a while.
this. Yeah.
And we weren't rock stars, but we partied
But-
like that. You
Yeah.
know, I'm sure you know you've heard the stories. But
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. We went through life, and you know, we sort of drifted apart,
as everybody.
as everybody does. And I remember the last time I heard somebody who told me that you had moved up north somewhere, and
In 04. Yeah.
was that '04?
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow when you came back, I don't remember how or when, but somehow we run into each other. And
I
I've been
think
through Facebook. I don't know.
It was because I think that's how I found out about Mama Tried.
Okay.
And I listened to some of it. I was like, wow, and by the way, I know how you said it was real polished, too polished, but
Yeah.
man, that's kind of what impressed me, how good it
How
was.
polished
Yeah,
it was.
because, you know, it was as good as anything I'd heard, man.
It was. We're proud of it.
Yeah.
Like I said, personally myself, I was looking for a little more sloppiness, a little more what you know what I mean,
Raw.
a little more
Yeah.
raw, And maybe, like I was telling Hoxie, it might be very well because I couldn't play to a click track. You know, they'd take parts of this, parts of that, parts of this, put it together and, you know, make it work. Because the click track was going off in my head and they're like, you're behind, you're behind, you're behind, or you're rushing, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah, it's still on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still on. But
Yeah, I never made it that far. We would just jam. You know, I jammed with you guys some, and
yeah,
me and Troy and Michael Mandrell played some.
that's right. I forgot about that too.
Alex left, and then they needed somebody to
Yeah.
play bass. And, of course, me and Alan and Gerald's played. Me and Steven and Gerald's played. for a
Okay.
while. But I never made it as far as you got. Man, putting a I always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. I saw
It's a
that
lot of work,
a few
yeah.
weeks ago. Yeah, I can't.
It was a lot of work, and it was very expensive. Wasn't like we had a record deal or nothing. We all forked it out by, you know, borrowed the monies, and all of us paid whatever it was a piece and split it equally. And I just told him, I said, man, that's one thing I want to do, just one, you know. And because we'd always recorded in somebody's basement or somebody's back room or something, and it just never, you put it on, and it's like, sounds like shit. You know?
You remember? You were talking about names of bands. Do you remember Electric Black? Do you remember?
You know,
that?
actually,
I had that cassette for years. I don't know whatever happened to it.
Oh,
but it was
man,
you
that's
guys.
cool.
I don't know who all it was.
I think
Maybe-
Rodney was part of that.
Was he?
I honestly think Rodney was part of that. I remember him drawing a logo, anyways.
I don't know
Yes.
where the name came from, but that's always stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Electric Black.
Yeah, Rodney brought over some. When we was crying shame, he brought over.
I forgot
some-
about that.
Yeah, he brought that over the other night, and it's pretty neat listening to it on cassette. Michael Mandrell's got some of the first stuff we ever done up there in the A-frame.
Oh, really?
Me and him and Fryman and Dan McDonald.
That's
And this
cool.
is like when I was still in school. This would been like 90, because Fryman and them was, I guess, juniors. This is, you know, so.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that, because I know he still got it. I had it, and I might still have it, but I just hadn't dug deep enough to find out. But yeah, we all loved just music.
Music.
Just, yeah,
Yeah.
and passionate.
Yeah.
Not just liked it. We was passionate about what we liked and what we didn't like, and,
Mhm.
you know. But okay, so I know you. How many kids you have?
6.
You have 6 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Any grandkids yet?
Yeah. Let's see, 3 granddaughters.
3 granddaughters. I didn't know that. Did
Yeah, well, one's softball. Plays softball at Kinsley, and then Cassidy just started her high school marching band.
Okay.
She did her first band camp
Oh, that's cool.
and learned that it's going to be work, but
Yeah.
she's going to, I think she's going to do it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
My granddaughter.
Yeah. Yeah, them grandkids, man, they spoil you,
Yeah. and
or you can
it's-
spoil them, and send them back home.
Yeah. I don't see them as much, and that's all on me. I'm so busy that I need to make time.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I slow down any, that I don't know if I
I
can.
don't see
I
how-
don't.
I don't see how you keep up with what you keep up with. Eric, and I'll put his, if he wants me to. Eric has, I know he has a personal Facebook page. He has a photography Facebook page. I know he's on
I
TikTok.
think the photography Facebook's gone.
Is it? Okay.
I tried to get rid of. I've got probably 10 Facebook pages.
Well, I
from
wasn't
back
going
in
to
the
say
day.
nothing, but I did there for a while. I was getting confused.
Yeah,
you know?
I know. And I, who was it? I think Kurt from Crowbar was giving me
Yeah.
shit about it because he's like, I'm not adding you no more.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't, that's cool.
So we'll put up his main Facebook, and then I'm sure he's got links. He does TikTok, he does Instagram, he does. Do you do X, Twitter, any?
I'm on Twitter, but or X, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Not
I
really.
hardly ever do anything.
Okay. So I'll put it up. You can follow. I mean, he does. Like I said, he does killer photography, and so I want to go down that road. So how did you start photography? How did you think this is pretty awesome? I'm going to do this.
I've always liked to take pictures. My first camera was a Kodak disc camera. Do you remember those?
I do.
They
Little
had like
bitty thin things.
Looked like a ViewMaster
Yeah.
thing that fit in.
Yeah.
I worked all summer to buy that. mowing yards in Indiana for probably $3 a yard. I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't much. I've always liked taking pictures with Polaroids and all. But this is going. I don't know if you know this, but that night we went to Farm Rock.
Yes.
Now, I tried to find you one. I've got one. I'll give you a Karabi doing this, and Ian's behind him.
I've seen that on
drums.
Facebook. Yep.
That's.
Yep.
I took that picture with a cell phone, of course. But I met this lady, Kelly Mason Hudson, and we became friends. She was on assignment, I think, for Fuse magazine at the time.
Okay.
And I let her in front of me. We, me and you were standing together. She was this little thing, and I was like, "Here, go, do your job." Whatever. Well, I posted that picture of Karabi, and she complimented it, and people, and anything you do, if somebody compliments you, it's like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
So, that's what kind of sparked my interest in concert photography.
Okay.
And then, let's see, I did one for Charlie Bonnet, CB3. Charlie Bonnet and the Falcon Gas Holes was the name of the band at the time. And Seth, the bass player, he and I are still friends. And I did that, liked doing that. I shot a bunch of pictures. And then the first big band was Crowbar at the Cowan, you know where it's at?
Yeah.
And met them guys and met, let's see, his wife Robin actually put me on the list and was like, "Yeah, come take pictures."
Yeah.
And then Corrosion Conformity, and then this band called Mothership out of Texas. I love them. And so that was my first one, and then it just started snowballing. And I knew Alice Cooper was coming.
Yeah.
And I made a comment that I'd love to shoot that show. I just was like, I'd love to shoot that. Well, April, a friend of mine, she saw that, and she's friends with, like I said, everybody.
Yeah.
But she's friends with Chuck, the bass player for Beast of
Chuck
Blanco.
Garrett.
Or I think he's guitar in Beast of.
Yeah.
But he's bass player
Yeah.
for Alice.
Yeah.
And she's like, she messaged me, and she's like, "I might be able to do something about that." I was like, "Really?" And then a few days later, she's like, "Chuck's gonna put you on the list to show up." Man, they gave me the good treatment. I mean, I got there and had guest pass, photo passes, and met Chad Lee. You ever heard of him?
Yeah.
And Chad
Photographer.
Did
Yep.
a lot of work for Dimebag and Pantera. So Chad actually took me. He goes, "Here, man." He's like, "Take my spot right in front of Alice." And I mean, that was a good night. So that's it. Started with you taking me to Farm Rock.
Really?
Yeah. And
I
then
did not.
just
Yeah, that's crazy.
contacting bands, and then word of mouth. You got a network in that business.
Yeah.
Just like playing music.
Yeah.
And that's more work than taking pictures. Really.
I was fixing to say, you have busted your ass on Facebook networking. I've never seen one person do as much as you do on Facebook. I mean, you might not anymore, but I remember back when you.
I try to. You got to. If
Yeah.
you're going to do it and you're going to make these connections, and it takes those musicians a long time to trust you.
Yeah. Right.
And so the next big thing, I guess, was Rockin' Pod when we went down. I met Rick
Yes.
from Every Mother's Nightmare. And I remember, I'll never forget the cart going by, and Rick's like, "I'll take that," and he grabs a bottle of whiskey. We're just sitting. I think it was whiskey or maybe it was a quart of beer. I can't remember what it was, but we were sitting out in the lobby, and talking, and he's letting me listen to that record that ended up coming out. He's let me, and we hit it off, and he's like, "Man, you're going to shoot the pictures for my next album." And, so I took it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But then when he called me, I got to go. That was cool.
That's
Because that was a band that I'd really listen to on the radio, and we'd all be riding around. Long-haired country boys.
Yeah. And I'll just jump in right quick for some of my people that watches that's not in Tennessee, but back in the 90s, Every Mother's Nightmare was the band from which half was from Nashville, half was from Memphis, but they was hometown boys.
Yeah,
and they made it.
Pretty much, yeah.
And they kicked ass. Those first two records was some of my favorite two records still to this day.
Yeah, I tell you, man. I want to say Rick. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth. I think he favors the first one over the second one.
Really?
little
It's
bit
a lot.
more.
It's heavier and rawer.
But Rick's all about progressing, not going back. So that's why everything you listen to is different.
Yeah,
But did you hear on that last album? Did you see where they redid?
I did.
And he said that's always the version that he had in his head.
That's what
but they wanted it to rock a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought that was a. Really,
I mean, that's, and I jumped in and
you jumped in?
and I didn't mean to stop the conversation, but Eric done their last, what was the name of the last record?
Resurrect the Faithful.
Resurrect the Faithful. Eric done, I know you done all the inner photography. Did you do well, I can't remember what the actual cover looks like.
Yeah, I did the inner, and then the cover is that circle with the 3 stars, Tennessee.
Yeah, that's right.
If you look close, Rick's image is in there looking up. I took that picture, but
Okay.
But they, that's the cover of it.
Man,
We
that's,
took that in a cemetery. I was passing by going to Supernova Studios, and that's where we were meeting up that first night. And I passed this old cemetery and church, and when I got there, I was like, man, there's a place up the road that'd be cool. And so we shot. I don't know if many of those shots ended up on the record, but I've got
I was
hundreds of shots.
fortunate. You showed me a few, you know,
Yeah.
and they was badass. They was
Thanks,
super
man.
cool.
I enjoyed it.
I mean, that's something not very many people can say, that I shot an album cover or I shot all of the photography for the album. That's a big deal.
It was.
That's a big deal.
I remember telling my wife Heather, I was like, within a year, I want to do an album cover, and it was a year to the week that I
Really?
started doing it. Yeah, and you know, it's you just have a dream, you make it come true or it don't.
Yeah.
Either way, I would have still been cool.
You'd
but
still
it's
been
what I've
shooting
done.
stuff.
But yeah, it
Yeah.
was cool. And then I did another one, and then it just
Really?
kinda-
What was it? The
Exhorter.
Exhorter. Okay, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, we went.
And
up
you
to-
done some stuff with the band from overseas, the Who.
Oh, yeah.
The Who. Is that right? Am I
Yeah,
saying that right?
I was the first one in Tennessee to work with them. Yeah,
Yeah.
HU, the Who.
Yeah.
And those guys couldn't speak any English.
Yeah.
So when I got there, I did it twice. I worked with them in Nashville, and then I drove up to Indianapolis and worked with them. And went to the green room, and they can't speak English, so they were standoffish. But I remember the first time I heard them, I was like, man, these guys are going to blow up. I don't know why, because
Yeah.
it's not your typical music.
Yeah.
Slot. But after I shot them in Indianapolis, COVID hit. They were stranded in Australia for like a month.
Really.
Yeah. And then they started touring. They toured with Megadeth. And I want to say they opened up for Kiss one night. I mean, who can say that?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Exactly.
They've been, their own country made them ambassadors of music. I mean, you know, they blew up.
That's crazy.
Actually, I've sold a lot of prints. I mean, they really helped me out
Yeah.
getting my name.
Well, I mean, because your live photography, concert photography, it's been published in magazines, correct?
Yeah.
I was thinking so.
It's been some metal shock film. I don't know what.
Yeah.
People have contacted me and wanting to use it. I'm like, yeah, use it. You know, it's
Yeah.
cool to me that somebody just wants to use it.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those like, let's sign some contracts and all
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Yeah. Give me credit.
yeah, that's all I ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just give me credit.
Yeah. And then also, you know, I know I've seen with your photography. I can cut this out if you don't want me to talk about any of it, but you know, I know you do weddings, graduations, things like that. I think you also do drone work for real estate companies.
I've done a few for
Done
real
a few?
estate. I've done some for the county and the city here. And, I like doing that. I took it out last night and did some at the fair. That's actually, I was going to move into that after when COVID hit.
Yeah.
Because we lost our contract where I was working.
Right.
But I went and got my pilot. They call it pilot's license, but it's part of what you really got to take if you're flying a plane.
Yeah.
But I don't use it as much as I do a camera. You know?
I just think, dude, you're a success story, and the reason I say that is, and if you don't want to talk about it, and I can cut it out. But you dropped out of high school, correct?
Yeah.
Or did you graduate?
No, I dropped out. Yeah.
Okay.
I got my GED at 40.
There you go. And then not only did you get your GED at 40, you took a lot of college courses as well. Didn't
I
you?
took 3 semesters, I think, of
communications and writing, and now that's what you do for a living.
Mhm.
You know, you write for our paper, and that's
something I never thought of.
I would have never.
Right.
In a million years, if you told me Erik Hernandez is covering a school board meeting or a county commission meeting or even the arrest records, I'd be like, was he in it?
Right. You know, it's almost, I'm like, I can't put this in the paper. I can't go against
You've
my
done
mom.
great, dude.
Thanks, man.
You've done. I'm so proud of you, of where your life was and where it's at now, and the things that you've accomplished is fantastic. I'm proud. I'm super proud, and I tell everybody I know I'm proud. You know?
Well, that's how I am with you guys too. You know.
Thanks.
We've evolved for sure.
Yeah, we have involved. We never, you know, or I have not, never hit the pinnacle of where I wanted to go, but I got slowly up the mountain somewhat until I decided, you know, this ain't really what I thought it would be, or maybe I just didn't have the talent to go further, and that's fine because I'm fine with that. But
Yeah, and the way I look at it is, and I'm like that. I've always had dreams of bigger dreams, but I went farther than I ever thought I would. So
yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty
impressive.
good with
And we're still above the ground.
that. That's right.
You're right, you know.
That's right.
And so we talked about our music, our bond of music. So tell me your influences in music. What? I know you're a huge Typo Negative fan. I do know that much. You know, and I know you like the heavier. You know, I know you like that. But tell me, what's your influences? When Erik has a shit day, what do you want to go home and listen to?
Man, it's different every time. I still love Simple Minds. They put out a record a couple years ago that's just as good as they've ever been.
And they've ever been.
Typo Negative. Huge Dokken fan. I guess out of the hair bands, all of them, I love Dokken.
Yeah.
Wasp.
Yeah.
Man, I love Wasp. Metallica. But if I could go Ozzy, of course.
Yeah.
But if I had to go, I don't know, man. I think I'm reverting back to like even way back before that, like the new wave stuff. I'm getting back into that. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
CCR.
And
I mentioned them. I love them. Oh, and I bought a Seeger CD the other day.
Nice.
The one that has Main Street. I love Main Street.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
my
that's
favorite.
so good.
When I was a little kid. in
Beautiful
Indiana,
Loser's my favorite, but sorry.
That's a good song too. I remember Main Street being, for some reason, resonated
It's
with me.
just so down
It's
on
just
Main Street.
Melancholy. I love
Yeah. No matter where you're at, somewhere's got a Main Street.
it. That's
You
right.
know?
That's right.
And it's weird. Me and Hawksy talked about this, and he really opened my eyes. You know, I don't know when we got together, but in the early 2000s, to everything that was out there.
Mhm.
You know, sure, I knew the hits of Skinner, and I knew the hits of Zeppelin,
Oh,
and I
man,
knew
there's
the,
some good deep
the
cuts.
yes,
Oh, man.
yeah. So I, you know, for years I've been going back, you know, and listening to things that I didn't listen to. You know, deep cuts of Skinner and Stones and Sabbath, and which, you know, I grew up on Seeger. You know, I'd have got kicked out of the house if I didn't like Bob Seger.
Right.
But you know, but yeah, all that stuff. You know, CCR.
I love them.
Yeah, so it opened up. You know, it's like all that old stuff is new.
Mhm.
Because, you know, from 83 to 93, those 10 years, I only listened to hair bands, and there's not very many. I couldn't probably tell you what song it was or what album it was on.
Yeah, and I'm about the same way. I love that genre.
Yeah.
I mean, some of my favorite ones are probably not everybody else's. Are Vane, Rock's Gang.
Yes.
I'm talking about those B bands that
Yeah.
never really hit it big.
Yeah.
Man, Brittany Fox. First time I ever heard them was in your living room over there down from Front.
Really?
When you lived there?
Yeah.
I remember that's what made me go buy the cassette.
Yeah.
Shotgun. I heard you guys mention
Oh,
the side.
Shotgun. I love
Man,
Shotgun.
that was it. Their second one.
The second coming.
The yellow coat. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that record's
Oh, yeah.
bad.
That's so good. Yeah, that first Vane record.
No respect.
No Respect. Oh yeah,
I
so
just
good.
listened to that last night. It's
Really?
So
I'm gonna
good.
have to break that one back out. The Guru and Patrick that I've done a few things with. If you don't follow them on YouTube, I'm plugging them again. You guys owe me money. But
Pay
great
one,
guys.
check
But
and
they
money
just
order.
put up a thing about he does like an album a week of this is his album of the week, and it was Saigon Kick's Water.
God.
And I was sitting there going, holy shit.
Did it take you a few years to listen to that?
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once you do, it's like, wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty
When I first heard it, I was like, this pretty much blows.
cool. Me too.
You know,
I was
there's
wanting
2 or
the
3
second
songs.
Lizard.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
But now, it might be my favorite Saigon Kick album. I
Is
mean,
that
I
the-
love the Lizard, but
the Lizard Man's always that record is one of my top 10. It's just
hard
front
to
to
beat.
back, and man, I just can't say enough good about that. That's probably one of my ultimate.
them, Skid Row, and they all use the same amplification. Skid Row and Saigon Kick. And I can't remember the amplification it was. Me and Chuck's talked about it a time or two before, but I don't remember what amps it was. Somebody can chime in or
What are
say.
you
that-
talking about? Like amps?
Yeah, like their amps was Skid Row.
Wonderful.
And that's the reason their guitars was just.
Did you notice? So we're talking about that. Did you like Subhuman Race?
I've got mixed feelings. Yes, I'm not going to.
I love it. I don't know. I didn't back then.
Patrick.
But I think that's one of their best albums.
Patrick, the guy that was just on my channel this past week, Patrick Reeves.
Yeah.
Might be, Subhuman Race might be his favorite record
Dude.
ever.
You know, so they toured with Pantera for a little bit,
Yeah, that's right.
and then they come back with Subhuman Race. You know,
Yeah.
you can hear some influences.
The
on
chunk.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I liked it, but I think it was at a time when all that music was, you know,
Yeah.
grunge was coming in, and
There wasn't a big, and that's what I find funny even with Slave. Now, Slave's my favorite record. One,
It's a great record.
It's probably in my top 10 of all time.
in a
But it
darkened
didn't
room,
have a hit.
Quicksand Jesus. How did
Sure.
that not?
Slave, Monkey Business,
Yeah.
all that. It was just Riot Act. Yeah, it was so good. But I remember. So when did the Black album come out? Metallica. 91, 91?
I think. 91 or 2. I think it was 91.
And I can't remember. It was Stephen Austin. I'm pretty sure it was Stephen. He was like, I know you don't like the hard shit, but I think you'll like this. And he played me Sandman. I was like, yeah, it's good.
Their crossover.
You know, it's good. And so I listened to it, and of course, just like everybody else in America, fell in love with the record. And then I went back, started going backwards, you know, and listening to Master and Ride the Lightning and Injustice and Garage Days, and I was like, yeah, I missed out on all this shit.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah, there was some good tracks. What's your favorite Metallica? Do you have a
I
favorite?
probably will always revert back to Master.
Justice is mine.
And Justice is probably a close second. Yeah.
And nothing sounded better than throwing Justice in a good sound system.
Yeah.
It was for years. I didn't even know you couldn't hear the bass. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I guess you can.
Yeah,
I was
here's
just
the
hung
bass.
up on,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love Injustice. Bro.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. I don't know. Master just, you know, I think, what's it start off with? Battery?
I think
Start
it
off
is,
with
yeah.
Battery? Yeah.
God, I need to dig that back out. It's been years.
Yeah,
since I
that
listened to it.
was badass. But also in that time, something that took me to really loving stuff was Pantera.
God,
When Cowboys from Hell come out, I don't remember who had it.
I did probably.
You probably.
I don't remember anybody else having it. I had it on cassette.
You probably let me listen to it,
Yeah.
and it was like, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then it kicks in, and I was just, from that, there's not a song on that record that I don't like. There's not a song on the second record, the third record.
They.
Even Reinventing the Steel and was it Great Southern Trendkill?
Yeah.
You know, I don't like them as a whole, as good as I do the first
They
three
were going
records.
through a lot then.
Yeah, but
So-
there's some shit on there that's amazing.
yeah.
Drag the Waters.
Which, yeah. I mean, damn, if you don't like that, you ain't a Pantera fan.
That, yeah.
So what? We were at that one of those shows together.
Yeah, it was,
Was
the
it the
third.
Rob Zombie?
It
or
was
the White Zombie.
Yeah, it was
God, what a
White
show.
Zombie and Pantera.
That was. If you were.
They set the hill on Starwood on fire. You remember that?
Yeah.
It was like, holy. Yeah.
White Zombie, Pantera, man, that's probably that's probably the best concert I've ever
That
seen.
was
In my, just the heaviness, Dime in his prime,
Yeah.
everybody in their prime. I mean, we got to see them all.
Yeah, that's the only time I ever seen him.
Was it really?
Yeah, sure was.
I saw him 17 times, and then 18th was when I shot him in Bridgestone.
Yeah.
So, it was.
So let me ask you your opinion of that. Of what do you think about this reunion / celebration, whatever they call it?
I thought it was a bunch of shit when I first heard it. I was
I
like,
agree.
man. But then I got listening to them talking, and I was listening to, when I'd be doing a photo shoot with some of their friends that were in bands. Like Kirk is good friends with Phil. They were in Down together.
Damn,
and,
that's right. I forgot.
Well, they got a new record coming out too. There you go, Kirk. You owe me some money. And so I got listening to what they were saying. These guys were their friends. These guys
Yeah.
toured with them endlessly.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's not a reunion. It's just a celebration
Yeah.
of Pantera. And I don't know if you saw a picture, but when I shot him at Bridgestone, there was this little kid. Did you see that picture of him holding up a sign he painted that said Pantera?
I seen the pictures, but
I'll
just
share that
okay.
sometime. And his smile, he was just like, and I
He's a
thought,
little
man,
kid.
that's what it's all about. They turned on a whole, I mean, look at them now.
Yeah.
They're out touring again, taking the music. They're sharing Pantera with a whole new crowd,
Yeah.
and I thought that's what it's about, and that's cool.
And I don't think you could have picked two with Charlie and with Zach. I don't think you could have picked two better people
It had to be
do
Zach.
that. It had to be Zach.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And they both, everything I've seen, I'm not a guitar player, but everything I've seen, Zach seems to play it. I mean, it still sounds like Zach
You can
because
tell
it's Zach,
right?
but he plays it with respect. Now, Charlie, I don't think I've seen a video of them live with Charlie that what he's playing is not exactly note for note of what the record was.
They went in, just in reading and all. I don't know them, but they went in to do them right, and,
Yeah.
and I think they did, man. I remember that big, it's the huge Pantera flag that drops after they do the tribute to the brothers, and I heard this roar, and I turned around and I was just like, my God,
Oh,
it was like
yeah.
it was like back in the day.
Yeah.
And Phil, he's back in his good shape.
Yeah.
He's lost weight, and it was just a good show.
Yeah.
Rex is one of my all-time heroes.
I've not seen them yet.
So
I want to go see
I
them.
recommend it. It's a hell of a show. You won't be disappointed, man. And plus, you get you're there, and for me, I was remembering the Cannery, Starwood.
I had a chance to go to Cannery, and that still
In
chaps my
Memphis, I
ass
can't
to this
remember
day.
the name of the place in Memphis. I saw in Knoxville. I just was sitting there remembering all that. And I was like, man, Dime was my all-time favorite
Yeah.
guitar player. I loved his attitude and his
Yeah.
spirit, man. He liked everybody.
And I think that might have been what drew me into him, because you'd see pictures and he'd be hanging out with Poison, or then, like you
Yeah.
said, he'd be hanging out with Anthrax or with whoever. I mean, he just loved hard rock and heavy metal.
There's a video of Warrant doing, is it Balls to the Wall? Have you?
I have
and
seen
Dimebag's
that,
on
and
stage
Dimebag's
watching
out
them?
there, yeah.
I thought, man, that's cool. And
Yeah.
they sounded great.
Yeah,
Warrant
that was on
jam.
Dog Eat Dog, and they was overseas at that big festival.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. Somebody shared it, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Warrant's up there with
Yeah,
the rest of them.
Dimebag, so.
Warrant's very underrated, man.
Yeah, I get a lot of flack for that one, but oh well, they're my heroes.
Man.
Well, I ain't gonna say they.
If
Jamie
you're a
is my hero.
metalhead and you hate on Warrant, go and watch that video and look at Dime's face. He's like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, they really opened my eyes, and then I started going
Pantera
down. Yeah, Pantera opened my eyes. then I started going down heavier roads. I'd listen to Anthrax or Megadeth, and which I know Megadeth and Anthrax both at that time put out I thought was killer albums, but maybe some of the faithfuls like Sellouts,
I love
but
them all, man. What are you talking about? Euthanasia?
like Euthanasia,
Oh.
Countdown from
Countdown, Rusted Peace is one of the all-time best.
what was the one that Anthrax done? Was it Sound of White Noise
With John Bush. Yeah.
with John Bush that had
It's a
that?
good record.
Yeah, that was fantastic. It was so-
Persistence of Time is one of their best with Belladonna.
yeah,
That's a great record.
Yeah, it is. That's good stuff. But yeah, and so what? Without letting cats out of the bag, or do you have some upcoming shoots or anything that you have in the works that you can talk about, or do you just have something maybe?
There's
coming
a
up?
few things going around that I can't talk about,
Yeah.
just because, not because it's anything huge at the moment, just because it's not finalized.
Yeah.
There's a local band in Bowling Green I'm looking forward to meeting, and
Yeah.
young guys called, I guess I can say, the Narrows.
Okay.
I think they're out of Glasgow,
Glasgow.
and
That's
I-
Blackberry Smoke country, ain't it? Ain't that where
yeah,
G'day was
yeah,
from?
yeah, it is right. So
Not
looking forward-
Blackberry Smoke, Blackstone Cherry.
Blackstone Cherry.
Sorry, I get my blackberries mixed up.
Their mom, who's kind of like their manager, a couple of them's mom, they're young guys, She contacted me and wanted to know if we could work something out, doing some pictures for them.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I went and checked them out, and so everybody check them out. They're, if you like Southern rock.
Say the name again.
The Narrows, and you'll have kind of a hard time finding them because there's other bands named the Narrows.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But
I'll try
out
to.
of-
Maybe you can.
I'll share something on my page.
Yeah, or if you want to send me some any kind of photography you'd like for me to put in this show, any of your photography you'd like to share, the page you'd like to share, take a snapshot of it, because I won't edit this probably for a day or two.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
I will.
so yeah, and I can throw it in there, no problem. I'd like for everybody to see
I appreciate
your
that,
work.
man. That's
So
cool.
yeah, because I've still got Eric made me. And they're hanging up in my house. He made me one of those canvas paintings
What was that?
of. You made me a canvas painting of that,
And there was another one.
and of me and Lori and John Karabi when we had seen him in Bowling Green.
That was a cool show.
Yeah,
that was a
yeah.
cool
I've
show.
got you made me a canvas of that I've still got,
Yeah.
and I still need to look. I still want to get another one of your canvas paintings, and I can't remember which one it was.
It's actually just pictures that I kind of artistically
enhanced and
enhanced and then made them.
And made 'em, yeah.
But they do look like.
I said paintings. I didn't mean to say paintings, but you might be an artist too. I don't know. Do you
I
paint?
used to draw. But,
Yeah.
You mentioned Karabi, so I kind of didn't know about etiquette when you meet these guys and go to their homes and different things. I was just excited.
Yeah.
So April, who's really good friends with John, invited me to a cookout of his, and I was nervous as hell. I was like, because John, the record with John, that one right there is my favorite Motley Crue record.
Yes.
Beside, and then the first one, I love those two.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I'm gonna meet John Karabi,
Yeah.
So I bought him a bottle of vodka. I asked April, I was like, what's his favorite drink?
Yeah.
I just want to show my appreciation. And my dumb ass goes in there, and I did my best not to fanboy, but, it's John Karabi, man, and
Yeah.
I was just happy to meet him. And I did. I didn't go off, but I shared a little video. I was like, man, I'm hanging out with John, watching football. I think it was the Jets or Eagles. I think he's an Eagles fan.
Oh yeah, he was big. Eagles.
Anyway, John, if you see this ever, I'm sorry, man. And so you remember when we were there seeing him, do you remember him looking at me and goes, and none of this goes on Facebook? When he was talking about
Yeah.
his, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't know. So, I mean, I was all new to this. I don't hang out with rock stars.
Yeah.
And you'd met a lot more of them.
I remember when you
were
told me
younger,
you was
man.
going to Karabi's house. I was like, damn it, can I
Well,
go?
it was
You know?
it was at
Or it was
Nashville
a-
Shores.
Shore, yeah.
He was
telling me-
camping out, and
Yeah.
and it was cool, and I was still to this day very appreciative of just being able to just hang out.
Yeah.
There was no talk of music or none of that. We were
Yeah.
just hanging out. He was watching football, and he cooked out and talked a little bit.
I've never met him out of the settings of. Well, I take that back. Me and him probably talked for over an hour at the airport.
Yeah,
in
you
the
were
smoking
talking about
lounge
that.
one
That's
time.
cool.
And that's how we recorded our record. He gave me the,
that's a
you know,
good
that's how
story,
all
man.
of that started. But yeah, first 2 or 3 times I met him, I was fanboy big time. And then it just got to like, he's just like us.
Yeah,
And you just don't, if you just lay back and
yeah. They're all just like us, and they're all. Some of them, I'll say it, are assholes. You can pick out who you think you are.
I think I know.
I know. We just talked about that, but I was talking to, I did the album for Exhorter. I remember telling him how Kyle, the singer, we were talking on the bus, hanging out, and I said, "Yeah, I don't understand." I said, "The town I'm from, everybody's nice.
Yeah.
You get along for the most part." I said, "So when I come down here and start doing photography, people were just being shitty to me."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Because you were being nice." He's like, "They think that you're wanting something from them." He's like, "In this business, nobody does nothing for free." I said, "I really have."
Yeah.
I mean, and I have. I did a shitload and never got a cent
Yeah.
for a lot of people, and then some have paid. But he's like, "But that's unheard of in this business, man. So when you're nice, people are just put off. They don't know.
They think
you want something."
that's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, and I got it, and he I love those guys in Exhorter too. They treat me like family, man. So,
Yeah.
But it kind of opened my eyes into how to I'm just going to be me. I'm still going to be cool to him.
You've never changed since I've ever known
I went through some phases.
you.
Yeah, I guess
But
we
as
all
far
do.
as I know some of the phases
Yeah.
and I know some of the things, but
5-leafed plants, amber colored bottles. Some of them are clear. But yeah, man.
but it's on a personal. We've never.
No, I mean we've all been cool, and I've always thought a lot of you. And
Same here.
Troy Cawthorn was a name that nobody.
I hadn't
brings
seen
up
Troy
much,
in
but
years.
Man, I miss Troy.
I do too.
We used to hang out.
I think Doug still sees him some.
I saw him at a ball game maybe last year,
Okay.
or maybe it was band. Talked a few minutes, but I mean, we played music together for a little bit, and then we get out and
Yeah.
raise all kinds.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, that was the age and the era, and that's what we did.
It's fun times. I don't know if I'd change too much of what I did.
Yeah. I
There
agree.
is a lot of things I would, but
Yeah. Yeah, you've been through the ringer, and I'm not going to go through that kind of stuff.
been-
But yes, you've seen your share. I'd hear stories, and they're like, Eric's this happened, or that happened. I'm like, are you freaking serious?
man, I'll tell one where I was. You know where Sugar Grove is, or
Oh yeah,
was?
yeah, absolutely.
So I
Yeah,
was
we
single.
played Sugar Grove.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
It was a war zone when I was there. But so I was single for a little while. It was one of my wild periods, and I was living over there, those apartments by the old high school,
Yeah. Okay.
and my neighbors were just 2 women I'd never met, and I'd drink with anybody because I just didn't want to think about stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Let's go to Sugar Grove." "Where's that?" We'll go. And all right, I had a purple Trans Am at the time. You remember that?
I don't remember.
Well, I remember them talking about they loved that car. So we went in my Trans Am and we go to Sugar Grove, and then the next thing I know, we're in somebody's field campfire, and there's naked lesbians and hippies. And this is just one of thousands of stories I could tell. But I remember that was the thing telling me, man, maybe you should not drink as much.
Maybe.
Because that wasn't my scene. Nothing against
Naked lesbians
or
and
hippies. It wasn't my scene, I
Yeah.
was just like, man,
How did I get here? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
it was a weird period. I've had several of them. I was working for Ron at the time.
Oh, really?
Ron would.
Well, there's another thing, and we could jump real quick. I mean, tattoo artists.
Man, I ain't done one, and I lost my gift of it.
Yeah.
I did one for a friend. I won't mention him here, but
Yeah.
I hated it. My hands started trembling, and
Yeah.
the last one I did was on Heather's neck. I wish I still could.
Yeah.
I have the first real nice machine
Yeah.
still in the case.
Yeah.
I guess I'll always keep that. But yeah, I
Right.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Met and seen some wild things doing that too.
I
So,
would say so.
Ron was a good dude. Rest in
I always
peace,
liked
Ron.
old Ron. I've got some of his stuff on my arm, and I know you do too. So
I remember he was piercing some girl one time. I gotta tell this story. It's funny. He was piercing a girl, and her boyfriend was in there, and he's like, "Now, if you don't like sided needles, you know how Ron talks. You don't like needles and you don't like blood. You need to get the hell out of here."
Yeah.
Because, oh hell, you know, you could hear the guy. Well, all of a sudden I hear a loud crash. Get this mother! You know, he slings the curtain open and he's trying to kick the dude. He's passed out on the floor. Get him the hell out of there! He crashed and Ron's stuff went flying everywhere. The girl was still, you know, he was piercing her.
Uh-huh.
And she was still there. He's like, just get the hell
Get out of
here.
here.
That was Ron. It was,
Yeah.
you know, he just tell it how it was.
oh man, that's funny. That is so funny. Oh man. Well, man, where we at here on this thing? I'll cut some thing. We're about an hour. I'll trim it down. This will probably get a good 40 minutes or so. Anything else you want to jump on? Anything else?
Yeah,
that
we
you-
can maybe we can do it again sometime. Brother.
Oh yeah.
No, just you guys. You know, I appreciate the friendship.
Absolutely.
I really do, man. It's-
Absolutely.
Hawks. I'll tell one little thing about Hawks. I remember him wearing a Goofy hat from Disney. This is the first time I met him.
Really?
He didn't have a shirt on. He had his jeans on, and he was playing. You ever heard the song Pipeline?
Yeah. Yeah.
He was playing that. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun. And me and Gerald's, you know, we're in his room playing, and Hawk shows up doing that. And I used to have a video of that. I wish I still had that.
Oh
'cause
man, that would be priceless.
Gerald's mom and dad went to Disneyland, took their youngest brother, David, and David got a souvenir Goofy hat, had
Yeah.
long ears. Well, Jason had that on, and I bet he remembers that. But that was my first meeting of Jason, and then we'd be in town jamming some Alice in Chains or something.
Oh, yeah.
Jason had his own taste in music too.
He did.
And that was cool too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. He introduced me to a lot of stuff, and you have too, and that's pretty cool because we've all made some killer friendships
Mhm.
through music,
And they've lasted, you know.
and they've always lasted. Yeah.
Fryman, who cuts her hair, he turned me on to Y&T. He turned me
Yeah.
on to Sleaze Bees.
Yeah.
Who else? Maybe Autograph.
Yeah,
Autograph. I mean,
Yeah,
so I can
Y&T was the
remember-
first time I'd ever heard was through from was
Yeah.
Y&T.
He
Yeah.
hated the album Contagious. And you know, I don't know if you did, but I would always trade tapes. At
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
Have my jean jacket be full, look
Yeah.
like a hamster's jaws, you know. But I got that. Fryman's like, I hate this. He's like, just give me
Yeah.
whatever. I liked it.
Yeah,
and,
I did
and
too.
we were talking. He likes it now. Poor Sam.
Yeah, Sam's still over here kicking. I'm gonna grab Sam. I might do it before this video. I'll do an intro, you know, in a day or two. I'll do an intro. I might show y'all Sam. Sam's
He's
like
cool.
me. He's a black dog, but he's more gray now than he ever was. He'll be 18 next month. So,
Sam is cool.
and
I mean, there was that store where me and Doug was riding around. I had that big green Mercury Cougar.
yeah,
And we're doing donuts in the old Walmart parking lot. And my car ran up on a cart.
Oh, and Spark, I was in there.
Dude, was you in there
Yeah,
with us?
yeah.
I don't remember.
Ain't that the same night that we come and you backed over the tree?
Yeah, it was the next morning.
Was it? Yeah,
Or
yeah.
it was daylight.
I mean, it was like what was that movie where all the sparks are flying? It's Dumb and Dumber or something, where all these, you know,
planes, trains. all
yeah,
those movies.
yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, it was. Sparks were flying. I was over there like, yeah, destruction. You know, Doug just didn't give a shit.
No.
And then that morning, I guess it was, I dropped you off and I'm backing out, radio jamming, a thing full of change. And I remember you coming, you're doing like this, and I'm like, hey, like a dumbass waving back. And then all of a sudden my neck slings back after I hit that tree. I thought my window busted, but it was all that change.
Change and
Yeah,
stuff.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I was
that
thinking about that the other day.
We've had some fun times and funny stories. That
Man,
some things are just better left not on a podcast, but we have had some great times.
a lot of good times.
A lot of good times. A lot of good times. And, my brother, I love you.
I love you too. Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
for
me on
coming
here,
out.
man. Hell yeah.
And
I'm proud of you, man. This is awesome. I hope
you.
everybody shares this, and I know I will. And I think it's cool what you're doing.
thank you, man. It's fun, you know. we had that conversation earlier about, you know, playing live and all. That don't interest me anymore.
Yeah.
But I still have the music bug, whether it's talking about it or listening to it or, you know, Sam's over
I
there
love music.
doing something. But yeah, I can see him back here. So, but yeah, just and talking about it with my friends I've met some great friends through music that, you know, that we didn't grow up with.
Right. Right. Me too. Yeah. There's music, man. It doesn't matter where you're from, rich, poor, asshole or not.
That's right. It don't know politics. It don't know race.
Yeah.
It don't know. It's just.
It's good stuff. It's a good bonding thing,
Yeah.
and I've seen a lot of shows, man. I know you have.
Yeah, yeah. You see a lot, and what's funny is, you know, it's respectful too. You know, now if I'm with certain people, like me and you or me and Chuck or something, they're like, "I like so and so," and I'm like, "You're an idiot. That
Yeah.
sucks." But
Expletive.
for the yeah, but for the most part, you're like, okay, I might go check it out. You know, see what it's
Yeah.
about.
Do you think? You know, I know when we were younger, I was like, man, that sucks. I just, you know, but yeah, I'm nicer about it. I guess.
Oh, that's that way.
But I'm more open too. I mean, I've
I am
discovered
too.
a lot of music that I probably wouldn't have listened to back in the day, or even given a try. And
Hawks turned me on to all that early country, you know, like Waylon and Willie and all that. And,
man,
you know, if you'd have told me in the late 80s, early 90s, I'd listen to that shit, I'd be like, no.
yeah,
Well, I was the same way, which we talked about a little earlier with Metallica and Anthrax and that kind of stuff. I wasn't going to listen to it. I just wasn't. I mean, I was a poser. You know, I mean, I just loved that stuff. And we sort of had a little, you had your people that only would listen and
those
flip
music
around. I was
clips or
just going to say,
whatever,
you can flip it around the same way. You know, love you, Stephen. But Stephen would only listen to
yeah. Steve
that,
was hardcore,
and he would
you know,
not listen to Poison or Warren or whatever. And we was the same way, but opposite. And but we still buddies. We was all friends.
Yeah.
You know, you still hang out. You know, you might go by and take a shot. Stuff sucks, man. You know, but we're still, you know, still good people. Still good guys. Still to this day. So,
Yeah.
thank you, my brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
it, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Appreciate it.